let's talk The Witcher, and I'm gonna let Sarah do the lion's share of this. But we finally got the restream VOD, not the restream. What am I talking about? My mind is all over the place. The stream VOD from CD Projekt Red. There we go. And it was talking about all of the improvements that are coming to this free next-gen update for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, coming December 14th for everybody if you already own it. And I was really surprised by just how much is in here. So quick overview is improved visuals, ray tracing, improved screen space reflections, improved foliage, better textures, more visual improvements are coming to the game. Enjoy them to the fullest thanks to FSR 2.1 and DLS 3. That's for you PC guys. I'm just a filthy casual console gamer, so none of that shit means anything to me. We have camera controls and UI changes, rediscover the continent from a new perspective. We've added an alternative camera option that'll bring you closer to the action, combined with alternative quick sign casting option, map filtering, and the option to dynamically hide the minimap. It will make exploration even more exciting than before. Photo mode is photo mode. I'm just usually said for that. There's mods that they're adding into it, some community ones, some of their own ones, and there's Netflix DLC and cross progression. So Sarah, the queen that is Witcher, take it away. What did you think about this one?
I mean, when we were talking about it last time, I was like, oh, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, I didn't really find it like offensive in terms of the way that the game came across the first time I played it. In fact, I loved it. I still love it. But this was so exciting, and they implied that there's even more that's going to be done, and they're going to obviously release the full patch notes at some point, so we can all sort of fully nerd out, go through it like a little file, and go, oh, look at that, oh. But like, yeah, and it's going to look incredible. Again, it's kind of one of those things that at the time I wasn't looking at something and going, oh, that looks a little bit useless compared to what other games, but it's exciting. It makes me want to play it again, and that's the whole point, right? And they're very cleverly giving it to us for free. They're trying to win us back over. They're doing exactly what they should be doing at this point in time. It's really clever. And again, it was really cool to listen to the devs talking about stuff. And the way that they talk about things like the camera angles, because like I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm not necessarily like, I didn't feel the need to change that, but the way that they talk about it is this kind of like, you feel closer into the action. You on Roach, you feel like you can see the connection between Roach and Geralt. I'm like, that's something I didn't even think that I needed, and now I definitely need it. And I'm like, I want to see more detail. I want to live in that world again. And yeah, they got me good. I
know. I think that the big one for me was the new camera, and like you said, I didn't have a problem with the first camera. It was more Dark Souls kind of detached further back, like from Software game, but just moving it much tighter as if it's like the new God of Wars.
Yeah,
like that's going to completely change the feel of the game, and it's going to draw you in a bit more. And I'm definitely going to be probably playing it like that the majority of the time. And I'm just really, really looking forward to it. Again, like you, the game is still gorgeous. If you go back and play the original from 2015, not that long ago, it's only 7 years. It's not like it's a retro game by any margin. No. It's still absolutely stunning. I mean, I've been playing it on the Switch as well, and talk about potato mode, but it's still a beautiful game, even in potato mode on the little Switch. But the fact that they've added, you got to think about the huge vastness of this world in this game, and they've brought ray tracing to the entire world.
Yeah.
And like the improved SSR stuff and the improved foliage and better textures. I was hoping for better textures, but it wasn't a deal breaker at all for me. And obviously, if you've got like a high-end PC, to really ramp up those ray tracing features and the upscaling through DLSS and things like that, you're going to be in for one hell of a treat, especially if you've never played this game. This is going to be your first experience of it. So you got to think, going into this game, is it going to feel like a 2022 game with these improvements, or is it going to feel like a little bit of an upscale from an older game? Either way, I think the improvements that they're making are super smart, and I really like that they've added the quick signing options, because in the previous iteration of the game, you had to bring up the radio dial, select the sign that you wanted to use, and then cast it, whereas now you can essentially like hotkey it, which is fantastic. So you can I think it's press and hold the bumper button if you're playing on controller, and then it's mapped to each of the face buttons. So that's going to bring like a new dynamic like intensity to the combat if you're just like throwing out these signs left and right instead of pausing the action, bringing up the radio mile. Again, that's detaching you from the experience, but to keep you fully immersed in the combat as you're fighting a wyvern, or if you're fighting one of these hag spectral witches or things like that, weighing down a trap, blasting it with fire, doing the force push thing, all fluidly and without any interruption. I think it's going to totally change the dynamic of the game.
Do you reckon then, as a result of that, because I hadn't thought about it until now, they've probably had to redesign some of the ways that you interact with the baddies, right? Because if it's a little bit more seamless, maybe they've had to, I don't know, would they have to make them slightly more difficult, I guess, because we'll be able to respond quicker? So yeah, maybe there's maybe some adaptation of the actual enemies as well, which is at that again, this is getting to the point where I'm like, you're giving us so much for free, so
yeah,
I love that. And this the really interesting thing, and I don't know if I'll ever need to use it because I don't have it on PC, I just have it on console, but the idea of being able to split between the multiple like gameplay devices, like you can have, if you have a save on your console, they're saying, yeah, you can just port your save over to PC and you can play it on PC if you want. And I'm like, that is insane. Like, I didn't even know that was possible to do. Like,
yeah, it's really cool.
It's insane, and it's cool because, like, you know, I think with the thing with PCs, you can actually get very kind of like specific with your settings, or maybe a little bit more than you can with console stuff, and so you can literally play exactly how you want to play it. If you're playing it on PC, presumably you'd have to buy it again, and that's my only thing. I'm like, that's all right. I'll just play the fancy 3D version on console.
I'm sure it's in a Steam sale for like $5 regularly at this point.
Yeah.
And you're right, like that cross save thing is super cool because a lot of it's like Skyrim. Whenever Skyrim gets put to another platform, people have got hundreds of hours into this game. They don't want to start afresh. They just want that kind of vision of like cloud gaming where you just pick up your device and then you instantly continue on your adventure with the same kind of stuff. And Cyberpunk did it, and obviously they're bringing it to The Witcher as well. And that's great because then you say, okay, if I was playing on PC, now I want to transfer it to my home console because I don't want to sit at the desk. I want to jump on the sofa, boot up the game, download or whatever process is to get my save file, whether it's synced to an account or however it works, I really don't know. But then you can just pick up your adventure mid-quest or wherever you were, and then in that new different environment that you've switched over to, and the device that you've switched over to. So that's like super interesting, and just a quality of life thing, which is, again, it's something that most people, gamers, probably don't even think that they need. But then you think, oh man, it'd be really good just to transfer this over to another device, and I can just carry on about my day with this save state, which I don't have to start over again on a new platform, on a new device. But also the integrated mods, which is, we talked about this last week of whether or not they were going to do that or not, and it turns out they are going to do that. They've obviously cherry-picked some community fan favorite mods and brought that into the base game, and then they've obviously added their own modifications on top of that as well. I wonder what these are, but that is obviously hugely exciting to say, yeah, our fans love this game. They have created some really interesting mods for the game. We want to show them the appreciation by making them like official features of the game. I love that. Jamie, for a game that you barely played.
I haven't played it. 10 minutes. That's it. I feel like I'm missing out. I really do. I will say that at the time of recording, it is currently in a Steam sale because I was thinking I might grab it on there so that I'm ready for the, and it is next to nothing at the minute. I'm. It's one of those situations where obviously it doesn't mean a lot of it doesn't mean a hell of a lot to me on a personal level because I haven't played it yet, so I've got no comparison basis. But I'm always happy to see that a game that has so much love from the community is getting love from its company and getting upscaled and getting additions, and the lengths they're going to are awesome. The big one for me in a general sense was seeing the love for the mod community, because modders do amazing things. There are some ridiculously stupid mods, like replacing all the dragons in Skyrim with Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yep.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. But I like go way back with mods, back to the days of playing Quake, where my Quake creaked from the amount of mods I had loaded into it. I mean, my Quake had classes and an extra storyline and fantasy elements, and I'm still running around shooting everything with a shotgun. So, but yeah, I think they're doing great things. I think more companies need to embrace two things: one, the mod community, because modders are your bread and butter. They'll play your game for decades after it's like dead and buried to other people, and the cross save notion. More games need that. You especially in the era of Games Pass, where you can have Games Pass and play on multiple devices, but you still have a lot of games that you can't cross-play and you can't cross-save, and you're starting over. So you're still picking or choosing. So, yeah, it's really exciting. They're doing some awesome things. I will play it one day, I promise.
We're going to pop quiz you by the end of the year to see if you've actually had anything. We'll drop little bits of trivia cryptically into the conversation and see if JB picks up on it or not.
I liked the bit where he was a Witcher.
Oh, he's obviously played it. Yeah.
Yeah, clearly. You're deeply invested because you know he's a Witcher. And speaking of actually the Cavill and the Netflix show, they're obviously bringing some little DLC thingies into this game as well. You can change Dandelion to look like Dandelion from the series, which is kind of funny, and you can change the Nilfgaardian soldier's armor to look more like the soldiers from the TV show, which is cool as well. No Henry Cavill mod though to make him look like the actor. I'm like, come on, if you like Netflix DLC, you got to go all in.
Yeah,
but the PC community's got it covered, but don't stress about that, Sarah. Especially if you're going to be playing on your new all singing all dancing PC, you can just get the Cavill mod, face mod for.
Maybe I will.